This will be a day long remembered. Now I am the master.
Welcome to another episode of Legends and Theories, and welcome to my review of the Bad Batch Season 3 premiere. This is the episodes Confined, Paths Unknown, and Shadows of Tantiss. I will have to recap out separately. I'm just trying to record this, but there's a bunch of construction going on, so I'm gonna have to wait until tonight to be able to record it comfortably without the possibility of the construction being in the background. I do have all the screenshots and everything for it. I just couldn't record it last night because that's what I was doing last night, getting the screenshots. So I'm going to have these separate, but I'm going to be using the same thumbnail for both. So because I already have all the screenshots and everything for it. So if you have not watched these episodes yet, please do not go and watch this because this is a great premiere. And to start off, our first episode is honestly a really great one just to set everything up. Not really, there's not really any big action set pieces in this, and it's just basically used to push the plot forward. It is done really well to show just how hopeless the situation is and see Omega beginning to kind of lose hope, but there are a few nice moments, of good things happening, including her getting the doll back and her being able to just connect a little bit with Crosshair. Also, Batcher is a nice little inclusion in this, and I think that it's just honestly pretty interesting to see everything they're doing here. Now, moving on to just really everything else in this episode. It was just so interesting to see it. Everything with Tantis was exciting, and the setup for Omega having something special about her blood and something about her as a clone is pretty interesting. It is pushed off more in the next few episodes, but honestly, it is just pretty crazy. Moving on to the next episode. Although this one is the weakest of the three, it still is a really good episode. The best part of it is the fact that we get just so much crazy stuff in it. We get to see the development of what happens to some of the younger clones. A cool reference to something I really only hear in novels, which is the official name for an orbital bombardment being a base Delta Zero. That was pretty cool to see also. And continuing on to just some other things, it was just really exciting to see everything they did with the Bad Batch and just having Hunter and Wrecker kind of stuck together, doing whatever they can to get Omega back, even if it is crossing some pretty big crime syndicates and stuff. But yeah, honestly, that was just a really exciting thing to see. It was also just a really interesting and fun concept to have these horrible Imperial experiments being seen. I think that we could even potentially see Project Blackwing be created this season, which is the zombie virus from Legends, which also made it to canon. Although there's not really much known about it in canon, it could be created by Dr. Hemlock in these cloning experiments. And I think that would be a really cool thing to see. Just the kind of like black water made me think of that in this episode because it was just a really exciting and interesting way for them to go. Looking at just the rest of this episode, I really liked the younger clones being here and it was just really exciting and interesting to see. Now moving on to the next exciting thing for this, which is clearly the best episode of this being Shadows of Tantiss. This was an incredible episode. It set things up really well, and it was just really well done. I think that it was really cool to see everything, and the one of the best things was to just get Ian McDiarmid returning as Palpatine. As always, he does an incredible job with his performance, and it was really interesting to see him go through this. I think that he did such a great job here, and even though this is kind of setting up the sequels, it still is really interesting to see what they did here because you could really just headcanon this easily to fit in with the Dark Empire storyline from Legends, or just act like this failed and the sequels didn't happen if you really want to. But I really don't mind it. It is giving us an interesting cloning plot, and even if it does relate to the sequels, it does make sense that Palpatine would want to clone himself and have clones for him that he could possibly use essence transfer to get into. But yeah, honestly, it is just really interesting here. The entire escape was fun. I really like that Omega and Crosshair were together and they really did have a great time in this where they were just doing really great things. I think that was really interesting to see, and the Bad Batch was just doing such a great job with this. I think that ultimately Omega is not going to be staying free for long. I think that we could see her being recaptured in the next episode, and this has Crosshair going back to his brothers to go back and rescue her. I just feel like that, and we're gonna have a very dark and pretty hopeless season where the Empire just continues to get victory after victory until they get a final win. Honestly, I really can't wait to see what happens with this because this season's going to be insane. This is a great premiere, and they did such a great job with it. But honestly, I want to know what you think. Please let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in the next episode of Legends and Theories. Thank you for watching this episode of Legends and Theories. Please subscribe, like the video, share the video, leave a comment, check out the video on screen, and may the Force be with you.